have ourselves Mr. Crit. Welcome and congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You guys are on a roll and you've basically, you could say 99, 95% guaranteed your spot to the major. I want to talk to you about your team. What, in your opinion, is the best thing that you've adapted as a team this tour?
Oh, I think it's definitely mentality. And we also had, obviously, for all the teams that were at the major and teams that are going to play ASL and stuff, it's pretty busy right now. So it's been very much about just trying to avoid burnout and stuff. And it's been a bit of a struggle for us, obviously. I think it has been for a lot of teams. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I must be feeling really happy beating out Nouns as well. But the thing is, looking into the future as well, you still have one more series to play. But there's also a league starting. And are you guys going to be focusing on playing less scrims with the upcoming league before the major? Are you dropping the workload a bit?
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's impossible to stay on top the whole time. I think that's what we realized in this TPC. I think, and if we're going into ESL, we're definitely not going to be focusing as much on that as we will be for the major. That's our main focus. So ESL will be a preparation for that, and then we will take things as they come for the league.
All right.
Congrats on the win. I just wanted to ask, like, on the topics of like international LAN and stuff. How do you approach scrimming when you are international? Do you try to play against teams from other regions that you haven't had a chance to play against? Do you have people in mind that you intend or want to scrim or be scrim partners with? And then, like, how does that process happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a fine balance because we would obviously prefer to play on low ping. So the best options for us are EG and Beast Coast, and we've been scrimming them a lot, historically as well. For some reason, TSM doesn't want to scrim us, so we can't scrim them. So that's a little bit rough because we played them first series. I feel like we could probably teach each other some things, but they don't want to scrim us. So we scrim EG and Beast Coast on US East, and then we play European teams on European server, which has its downsides, obviously, but they're also the best teams in the world. So we try to learn while not getting too tilted by the ping and then take it from there.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when you go to, like, let's say you go to Berlin, right? You make it to the major. Mm-hmm. Then, like, we still want to scrim with, like, Europe teams or teams that we're scrim partners with, or do we want to scrim, like, China and C and stuff?
I think you try to get a good balance. I think at the major, like, we tried to play we played LGD, I think we played Geek Fam before we started the tournament. And I think for ESL, it's going to be a bit different because the teams will be there for a longer period of time. But at the same time, the league is also going to be very condensed. Like, I think every team is playing every day 2 times, so there's not going to be much space for scrimming. So basically, it'll just be like the time period between the league and the major, where it's basically like a major boot camp where every team will be in Berlin. So at that point, obviously, every team will already have played each other in the league, and then I'm not really sure what's going to happen. But I think in general, it's good to get some difference in there, like trying to play the teams that you haven't maybe watched as much. Like, I personally haven't watched China this season at all, so I wouldn't know much from their meta, and then I think it's good to get some data in from that.
I got you, bro. It's Enchantress. Enjoy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've seen that.
Yeah. Okay, then obviously you're coming off a win, but how... if your team is having conflict and problems ever, how do you guys really deal with that?
I mean, we definitely had conflict during the season. I think it's been hard, honestly, to just like avoid burnout and still like try to focus on your scrims, because you want to play the scrims and do your best, but at the same time you need time off. Like, it's a really hard balance to find. So there has been conflict, obviously. I think we have a good system of, like, after each day we have a debrief. Like, we talk to each other. Like, if anything's bothering somebody, like, we talk about it. And I think most stuff is usually resolved on the same day as it arises. So I think we just have, like, after we joined the SR, we basically just got a new system that helps that a lot, I think, in terms of, like, internal conflict not building up, and you don't build any grudges because you talk about it fast. And I think it's just been very helpful.
Okay. That's good to hear. And then my final dumb question is, do you watch any trash TV shows?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a sucker for reality TV, so I watched, like, all the Love is Blind and all that stuff, That's definitely my guilty pleasure.
You a Love Island enjoyer?
I have not watched Love Island, but that's just because it's just not been on my streaming sites. So
Okay.
yeah, but I would
So-
I would definitely watch it.
You would? Okay. I
would
run
love to watch
Watch
it.
party.
I run an annual watch party for Love Island. You're invited, brother.
I'm in. So,
Let's go.
Crit, you guys placed fourth at the last major. I just wanted to ask, going into Berlin, what improvements do you guys think you need to make to challenge that first place spot?
Oh, I think that's hard because I think last major we improved a lot throughout the tournament. I think we had a really good group stage. We learned a lot, and compared to TI, where we kind of just cruised through and we didn't really pick up too much, I think last major was really much better. I think that's like the ideal group stage you can have. Like we had upper bracket, but we lost games that taught us stuff. So I think probably just some consistency. I think we have some concepts that we didn't apply in some of the crucial games, especially like the last couple of series. We were a little bit. I think for example, in like the Liquid series, like we had a game with like a big lead that we could have won. I think we had the potential to beat everything that was there. So I think there's just about working on the consistency and understanding the concepts that we're trying to apply.
Okay, that's fair. Obviously, in your previous games during the NADPC, sometimes against lesser teams, you guys tend to take it pretty easy. It feels like have a bit more fun. Was Bulba kind of instill that kind of like, hey guys, take this game seriously against Nouns, or was he pretty laid back today?
No, I think we don't have any problems with respecting Nouns. We lost to them in the BTS before the last major, so I think for them specifically, there's no slacking for any of us. Like we respect them a lot. We know that they're a team that can beat us. So yeah, for them specifically, I don't think it was that much of a problem. I think for the rest of the teams in NA right now, they're pretty bad. So it's only really TSM, us, and Nouns. So that's just the reality of it. Other years or other seasons, like last year, it was Nouns, Wildcard, us, Quincy, TSM. Like there's plenty of good teams. Now it's a little bit worse, which is obviously sad, but we tried to make the most of it, and I think the biggest thing for us was just to avoid the burnout this season.
No, that's fair. Last question to you. So there is a new patch coming out very, very soon. If there was one change you could make from this current meta, what would it be?
I hope they just, I would say remove the aura items, like just remove every aura item, like Crimson, Greaves, Spy, like just remove it. But I think it's a little bit too drastic. So I hope they just make something so that it's not as necessary. Like it's just way too big of a part of the meta, and I think it's just been the same way for too long. So I think some decrease in the amount of aura items and their strength would be nice.
All right, thank you.
All right, I have two more questions for you, then I'll let you go, Crit. How do you keep Saberlight in check? We just saw he was not in check a moment ago behind the camera, but how do you keep him in check and get the best out of his performance in lane?
I think for this series specifically, we had good communication about our plans in the lane. I think that helps a lot. It's mostly between the draft and the game, so it's like you have a minute or two where you can talk about it. And it's very fine detail, so sometimes you're going to get it right and sometimes you're going to get it wrong. I think me and him have a good system, and I think obviously, I mean, he has sometimes some crazy ideas, and I think I have a lot of experience to kind of direct it so that we can use the best of it and not the worst of it.
All right, and finally, tomorrow is probably one of the worst days in my year calendar. It is April Fools. What do you have planned for tomorrow?
Oh, I'm just gonna stay off social media. I think that's my biggest plan.
Good-
I already
good
saw
man.
some Reddit. I saw
Good
some
man.
Reddit stuff. Like I'm just gonna avoid it. So yeah, we also have a game tomorrow, so we have stuff to focus on. And B8 has been looking good this season. So
All right, just staying in hiding and preparing for the game tomorrow. Congratulations on your win today, and hopefully tomorrow you get to close in that major spot as well. Congrats, and see you later.
thank you, appreciate it. Have a good night, guys.
Bye bye.